The Brutalist written for narration. Horror story in the heart of Amman. Jordan sat in an abandoned concrete building, a massive, hulking structure poured from grey cement and cruelty. Locals called it Al-Wash, Al-Samti, the silent beast. It was a brutalist monstrosity erected in the 1970s, meant to be a government archive, but the project was halted abruptly after rumors of fatal accidents during construction. Men fell from great heights. One was impaled, another vanished. They said the concrete itself had swallowed him. After decades, it stood half-built and empty, casting long, skeletal shadows. Everyone avoided it except for one man. Yoja, a 34-year-old documentary filmmaker from Zaka, had grown up hearing stories about the brute. After years of producing local crime documentaries, he wanted to explore urban legends of the Arab world. He figured the best place to start was right here, with the concrete phantom of Amman. "It's just a building," Yoya said as he prepped his camera gear. His friend Salim, a devout man and sound technician, hesitated. "We shouldn't mock places touched by death. You don't know what walks in places people abandon." Yoya chuckled. "You think it's haunted?" The first hour was uneventful. Yuja filmed graffiti, cracked pillars, rusted rebar, but when they reached the 4th floor, Salem froze. "Do you hear that?" he whispered. It was like someone dragging their nails across metal ... from within the walls. Yuya laughed nervously. "It's an old building. Concrete contracts, then something knocked. 3 sharp knocks. From inside a solid wall." Salem dropped the mic. "We should go now. This is perfect." Yaya followed the sound into a long corridor leading to a windowless room. The graffiti inside was different, older, carved rather than sprayed, Arabic script, but distorted. One line repeated along the walls. "La jamutu wala jaja." Something about the verse twisted in Yaya's chest. It was a phrase from the Quran, describing the torment of the condemned in the hereafter. But why was it here? That's when the battery died. Not just the camera, everything, the lights, the phone. Salem's recorder all dead. Yuta cursed under his breath. "We charge everything this morning." Then a child cried. Both men went still. The sound was faint, distant, coming from the stairwell below. "No," Salem said. "No child would be here." But Yuja was already moving. He had to get the sound on tape. He had to prove this place held secrets. They descended to the 2nd floor. The crying stopped. Then they saw her. A girl, barefoot, no older than 6, stood in the hallway. Her eyes were pale, almost white, her dress tattered. She pointed at a dark doorway. "Stop," Salem shouted. "This is a test. The Prophet taught us that jinn take forms to lead men astray." But Yaya's hand was already on the door. Inside was a narrow stairwell descending underground, something not on any blueprint. The air shifted. The silence deepened. Even Salem's whispered. Adkar faded like breath on glass. They stepped down. The basement stank of mildew and something older, like blood in the sun. The light from their flashlights flickered, as if the darkness was swallowing it. Then they found the room. An unfinished chamber, filled with cement sacks and tools. In the center was a slab, half concrete, half something else, like flesh molded with stone. And on the slab a face, pressed into the concrete, screaming. Salem fell to his knees. "A'udhu billahi minash shaitan arajim." Yoye stepped closer. The face blinked. Then it opened its mouth and spoke, not aloud, but in their minds. "He who mocks death shall not be spared." Its shape. The walls pulsed. The air became liquid. Salem grabbed Yizha's arm, dragging him upward, through the screaming stairwell, past the weeping girl who now floated inches above the ground, her eyes bleeding concrete. They burst into the night, gasping. The call to Isha echoed from nearby. Salem prostrated right there in the dust. Yaya looked back. The building was gone. Only an empty lot. Concrete dust blew in the wind, but the brutalist shell had vanished. Epilogue. Weeks later, Yaya's footage surfaced on a drive found inside his locked apartment. He hadn't been seen since. Salem refuses interviews. He moved to Medina, dedicating his life to study and prayer. But some nights, when the wind howls through Amman's old quarter, people say they see it, the brutalist, a grey behemoth, standing where nothing should be. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the knocking 3 times, just behind the wall.